Mic check. If you have a mic up here, if you want me to, if you just confirm, okay, thank you. Mic check. Thank you. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. It is. It is in this place of black power, this place of blackonomics. I come to you as your National Minister of Information for the new Black Panther Party for Self-Defense and your Regional Minister of Defense for the Southeast region. It's a wonderful pleasure for me to be here with you today as a host of Black Power Radio throughout the years. It is an honor to be here with my family in Tulsa on today to remember our ancestors who blazed paths, who made self-defense real in these streets. And so I thank you for coming today to this press conference that we have hosted. I want to thank you all in advance for what we are looking forward to do during this weekend, honoring our ancestors and bringing to account what we must do on this earth to ensure reparations for our future generations. Black power? Black power. I am your servant, Lady Freedom. I'm glad to be here with you. And shout out to the Cubs on today. I'm glad to see them here today as well. I want to, since we are here and this International Black Power Convention is centered around reparations, I am also a proud member of NCOBRA, part of the youth auxiliary there, and I am honored to bring up one of my brothers who is here with us to represent for NCOBRA and who has worked with me alongside for years as we have been working to ensure reparations for our people. I want you to please receive our brother, Jamoke Ifatunde. Say it. Ifatayo, I gotta mix him up with the other, but Jamoke is my brother. I call him Jamoke. You know, your brother and your sister and your cousin, you don't normally always call their last name, and I should know. But please, wonderful warrior on the front lines for reparations throughout the years. He is going to bring us an update. Black Power. Black Power. Thank you. Black Power, baby. Black Power! Black Power! Black Power! Black Power!
Yes, it is very much an honor to be here in this space at this 100th anniversary. I didn't know if I was going to make it or not. And I kept telling my organization, we got to be here and we got to represent.
Yes, sir.
Reparations is all in the air. I was at a meeting today with Minister Lady Freedom, and I heard the drums playing. And I ran outside to follow where the drums were going. And they were chanting in a circle, reparations now, reparations now, reparations now. Just as I predicted, I said reparations is going to be in the air throughout this whole next few days while we're here in Tulsa. And we really should also, when we say Tulsa, we need to lift up Greenwood. That was the actual name of the town, Greenwood. And I was even just thinking about that as I was sitting down just before I came up here. Just the symbolism of Greenwood. What do you think about when you think of Greenwood? You think about new beginnings. You think about, it didn't even be all that it could be. It was something new. It was one of the most powerful example that we have as a people in terms of economic development. 600 businesses, 30 grocery stores. They had their own airport with people, their own private planes. It was a powerful, powerful place, and in one night, destroyed. So we're here standing in solidarity. I represent NCOBRA. NCOBRA stands for the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America. And we always want to remind you that it is a coalition. So we invite you to join NCOBRA. Stay in your same formation, stay in your same organization, and be a representative inside NCOBRA for the work that you do so we can be on the same page or have it on the same page as it relates to reparations in our movement. So the one thing that I always share when I speak about reparations is the 5 forms of reparations. We want this to become universal. We want everybody to become familiar with the 5 forms of reparations. This comes from the United Nations. You hear a lot of talk right now about reparations, and people talking about it's the wealth gap. That's only one small part of reparations. It's so much more than that. And so I'm going to do call my little mini class here so you can learn the 5 forms of reparations. So when anybody starts talking to you about reparations and we're going to give it right back, or it's just a check and all that, say, no, Jamoke taught me about the 5 forms of reparations. So let's run it. The first one is called cessation and non-repetition. Everybody say cessation, and non-repetition. When we were at the site earlier today, one of the people said we were at a crime scene. The crime is still being waged against people of African descent right now, even as we speak. So part of reparations says that has to end, that has to stop. No more George Floyds, no more, I can go on and on and on and on, right? About the police brutality, the police murders. We can talk about miseducation, we can talk about healthcare challenges in our community. All of these things, not getting bank loans, on and on and on. Those crimes are still happening today. So cessation, and this comes from the United Nations, I meant to say that. So these 5 forms of reparations come from the United Nations. Hey, Queen Mother. Yes, Queen Mother Dorothy. Let's give her a hand clap. I'm sure she could tell her own story, but she is our carrying the torch of Queen Mother Moore, one of our most mightiest reparations activists, and she continues to do that in the United Nations, specifically herself, and around the world. So we thank her for her work in being a pathfinder and continuing the work of reparations of Queen Mother Moore. So, cessation, non-repetition, and not only does it have to end, we have to design our reparations in such a way that it doesn't continue into the future, that it doesn't come back. See, what happens is we can see that certain laws get passed, and then they come back and change on us, right? We can look at like the Voting Rights Act as an example, and they come back and now have watered it down and weakened it. Time frame. Is that what you, is that?
I was just gonna say once you complete, if you'll introduce Queen Mother, she's gonna go behind you.
Okay, great. All right. Usually a stand was a signal like my time was up. I didn't know the time was up already. All right, great. So everybody again, cessation and non-repetition. All right, the next one we'll do is rehabilitation. Everybody say rehabilitation. Rehabilitation looks at the psychosocial trauma that people have gone through. We have been traumatized. We still continue to be traumatized, as I just said, right? And so we have to look at some deep healing that we have to do in our community, emotionally, psychologically, physically. So reparations has to address that in a deep way. There's something that we talk about called transgenerational epigenetics. And again, I'm giving the abbreviated version of the class today. But transgenerational epigenetics is science has determined that if your great-great-grandfather was traumatized, I should say if probably was, right? And that gets encoded in his genes. It gets passed down to his child, down to you. And so you wear the scars of slavery, lynching, Jim Crow, and Sandra Bland, and all those things as well. That gets encoded into you, and then you pass it on to your children. So we have to design our reparations to heal that and address that multi-generational trauma. The next one is restitution. Everybody say restitution. So restitution looks at the legal standing and restoring of people to the way they were before the crime happened. So we're talking about us recovering our languages, our cultures, our ways of being, our legal standing. You know, we could talk about that. That's again a whole nother lecture, the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendment, how citizenship was imposed on us. We didn't say after slavery ended, they didn't ask us, what do we want? They didn't ask our ancestors, what do we want? Do we want to go back to Africa? Do we want to have our own separate territory? Or do we want to be citizens? They told us we were going to be citizens. That has to be addressed. Some of us feel like we want to have a vote. It's called a plebiscite. Everybody say plebiscite. Have a vote, and you determine what you want. Do you want to stay here in the United States? Do you want a separate territory? Or do you want to go back to Africa? Restitution deals with all of that legal standing and your citizenship, restoring you back to the way you were. Compensation. Everybody say compensation. Compensation. So compensation is important because we live in a capitalist society. We got to break it down, be realistic. Yeah, I'm not saying I don't want money. We do want money, but we want more than just money. Money can change things. Money builds institutions. Like we said, Wall Street, Black Wall Street is an example of what we were able to do when we had money flowing in our community successfully. So money is important as a part of the healing and repair, but it's not just money. And then the last one is satisfaction. Everybody say satisfaction. Satisfaction looks at restoring the dignity of a people. We have to get the story straight about what we have contributed to this world, to the United States, and what we have contributed to this world. We're standing here in a room got lights. Wouldn't be a such thing as a light if it wasn't for an African-American inventor that worked. Lewis Latimer, thank you. And most of us stopped at a traffic light today, Garrett Morgan. We could go on and on and on and on about the science and invention, music, and so much that we have contributed. So the story has to get straight in terms of what our contribution is. So satisfaction looks at museums, special days of commemoration, apology, but it can't just be an apology, because some people think apology is reparation in and of itself. No, but it's an important aspect because it acknowledges, it makes an acknowledgement. So all of those things that will help to restore so that our children and our great-grandchildren will know and stand proud of who they are when they stand on this soil or any soil on the earth, what we have contributed and who we are. So satisfaction, we know that there's been an orchestrated attempt. We could talk about, films and Tarzan and cartoons and all the things that have undermined and demeaned black people and our image of ourselves over time. And so we're talking about restoring all of that. That's, again, a part of reparations. So you got the 5 forms of reparations. I'm going to close out a little chant that I'd like to do and say, America bounce the check.
America bounce the check.
Though it ain't all about the dough.
Though it ain't all about that dough.
But my people still poor.
But my people still poor.
Reparations are due.
Reparations are due.
So just give me what you owe.
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 Thank you. And I thank the New Black Panther Party for coming here and putting this on. This is, Black Wall Street and Greenwood was about power, was about black power. And so,
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
And so we are so glad to be a part of this. We're glad when we got the call. She said, we're going to do this. We would like N'Koba to be in the house. And we said, we answered the call. We're going to be in the house. We want to be in the house. And there's even members of N'Koba that came here even before I got here, and even more members of N'Koba that are on their way. So we are here. We're in solidarity with the New Black Panther Party. We support the New Black Panther Party. We've worked with the New Black Panther Party over the years, and we are very excited to be a part of this and make our contribution in this movement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Black power.
Black power. So, just in case someone gets offended at what is being recorded or what you have to report about this group of strong black people up in here saying black power isn't hate. Black power never burned a church. Black power never lynched a preacher. Black power didn't rape children. Black power didn't sell mothers off of their family. That ain't black power. Black power is economics. Black power is education. Black power is fighting for reparations. Black power is do for self. Black power is I love my people. It's not racism. But see, when you see those Confederate flags and they say heritage, not hate, we know that's a lie because the Devil's Punch Bowl told us so. Black power.
Black power.
So I know some of you may have to go and report some things that may be a little uncomfortable, but just remind them that black power never lynched nobody, never burnt a church.
Black power.
Black power never took a whole country. Black power never pillaged anybody's continent. Black power.
Black power.
Now that I got that straight, I want to bring Brother Jamoke back to introduce black power, honey, because we need more empowerment because of the black trauma that we have endured. Please introduce the Queen.
All right. So I spoke about Queen Mother Moore. And again, when we do this work, we need to always know those that have paved the way before us.
Yes.
We know the names of people like Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, but in this reparations movement, you need to know about the name Queen Mother Moore. Yes. Queen Mother Moore did so much in this movement. She took a petition to Congress with 1 million signatures for reparations in the 60s.
Yes.
She wanted to do it before the 100th anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation ran out. She went to the United Nations on our behalf demanding reparations. She organized several different organizations for reparations. And this woman who's sitting right here in her older years, Queen Mother Moore lived to be about, 98? And in her years as she got up in age, this woman made it her mission to take on helping her in her life, but not only that, carrying on the mission, more importantly, of reparations. And she has her own story to tell about when you were a nun. Maybe, I don't know if you're going to share that or not. It's a profound story. And, but we thank her for her work and her continuing the work of Queen Mother Moore and being active in the United Nations and all of the work that she has continued to do for reparations. Thank you. Dr. Dolores Blakely.
Yes.
Queen Mother Dolores
Queen
Blakely.
Mother.
Queen Mother.
Black
Black
power.
power.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power. Thank you, Mother. Yes. Thank you. Bless you.
In the spirit of my ancestors, I come before you. And they would have it no other way but having the elders in the house with you. I'm into the healing modality of life from the earth. The farmers are very important to a people. And in that spirit, the last place that I have gone, or being at the United Nations, celebrating my 52 years as a humanitarian. I was destined for one thing to do in the UN, is to have been the spook who sat at the door. And being there for 52 years, I was able to hold on to that mission in the spirit of my ancestors, of the transatlantic ocean of the slave trade. And as Queen Mother Moore would say, the world owes us, children. Go get your reparations.
Yes, ma'am.
Honey, they owe us. Queen Mother Moore lived to be almost 100 years old in a village and in a township called Harlem that is in New York. I am the community mayor of Harlem. I'm also the ambassador of goodwill to Mother Africa.
Black power.
Black power.
And the years are requesting, but during the pandemic, I was asked to come to Europe, the European Union, by the Crown Prince Albert of Monaco.
Play.
Now, where would I go and what will I say to the world from Monaco? And when they gave Queen Mother the opportunity to speak, it was an economic meeting, economic conference. And they understood the words of Queen Mother Blakely from the United Nations, which I have spoken many times, so you could hear my voice. When you speak in the United Nations, which civil society honored me to speak at the same place where heads of state speak in the General Assembly, where the Pope, St. Francis of Assisi, I call him Saint Francis of Assisi, that I adored in the United Nations and in the convent of Harlem, which I was a Roman Catholic nun. But the world may call him Pope Francis of Assisi.
What you call him, Mother?
But I call him Saint Francis of Assisi, a black holy man in Rome. And so having a pope today admired a holy one like we admire the black Jesus of Galilee.
Yes. Yes.
And I wrote a reflection, or we may call it outside of reflection. You may call it, since I'm the queen mother of hip hop. And so you could say the spoken word. And during this time, I wanted to just reflect first, revival of the ancestors. We must speak of the ancestors. And whatever name you may call that force greater than yourselves. Oh God, watch over us. And what name you may call that force greater than yourselves. And names we may not ever know, but you know. As we renew and rejoice and reconnect to our ancestors of the Middle Passage of the transatlantic ocean of the slave trade that left us with the terrible pain of horror, dismay, terror, and the tragedy and scorn and scarred us for life. From generation to generation, yet not born, in the midst of trouble and raging waters of the ocean, we ask you, the divine one, the force of all life, to enlighten us. Bless us in the spirit of our ancestors. As we pour today in green wood, the libation we did with the elders, that they all was in their hundreds a few hours ago. And when I saw them and laid eyes on them, I left them with a gift from Mother Africa as the Queen Mother coming out of Ghana. They was on the horse and buggy to start the walk today, and letting them know we are unified from the continent of Mother Africa in the struggle of our people here in the United States of America. And in a place called Greenwood, or better yet known as Black Wall Street. When we speak of reparations, they owe us, as Queen Mother Moore would say,
Yes.
honey, go get your money. Don't talk about it.
Yes.
Biden is coming. Harris is coming. You voted him in. But honey, go get your money. What you waiting for?
Yes, ma'am.
In the spirit of Queen Mother, they owe you reparations.
Yes.
They owe it to you, children.
Yes, ma'am.
They owe it to you. She used to say this all the time. Living almost 100 years old. So I would echo what Queen Mother Moore would have said to you today. And her hand is raised in the air. Children, they owe you. They owe you to rebuild
Yes.
here in Tulsa. And whatever other name you may want to call it, because it's a little twist up. Because they robbed us of our language,
Yes, ma'am.
our tradition, and our culture, and our people. Our ancestors, they robbed us. And so Queen Mother would speak to the world and say, honey, go get your reparations.
Yes, ma'am.
And I will go on to say, in the spirit of my ancestors, as we pour libation, as I said before, as a manifestation of their trials, tribulations, tolerance, patience, and endurance, who professed the greatest sacrifice for us. We are inspired and humbled at the ordeals that our ancestors bore in their life. Oh my God, whatever name you may call that God, Mother, Father God, Allah, Jesus, Yahshua, just Baba, the spirit of Mother Earth, Father God, that force they prayed to, that endured us. The seed is still here. And we come today to this holy place. It is sacred.
Yes.
Everywhere I went today, it has been sacred for me. I came in the midst of a storm yesterday,
Come on, Mother.
flying
Through the storm. Ah.
through the storm
Yeah.
to be with you.
Thank you, God.
They already said, Queen Mother, you can't board the plane today. Wait till tomorrow. I said, no, my ancestors told me to fly today.
Hey.
So, yesterday, 4 o'clock in the morning, I was in the airport in a place called New York. And it's called New York more than once. We love it so. It's called New York, New York. And coming from the city and the place we call Mecca is a place called Harlem.
Well,
I'm going to leave with you. And you can go out and read about Queen Mother. As already said, I'm the hip-hop Queen Mother. So I am on the music and the rhythm of life. But I want to leave with you the words of my ancestors. Oh, my Creator, the Divine One, let us watch, let us pray, let us humble ourselves before you and remain vigilant. Remain vigilant.
oh, yes.
Oh, my ancestors, give thanks. Give thanks. And we'll say to all of you in our divine family, stay on the sacred path of life. Ashe, 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 oh. I yield the chair back to the divine one, that sacred one, upon you, upon you. Ashe. And black power,
Yes.
black power,
Black power.
black power.
Black power. Now, when y'all see me out there saying it like that, don't be saying black power. So don't look at me funny.
And it must be ended
Yes, ma'am.
with black love.
Black love.
Black love.
Black love.
Black love.
Black love. Yes. It's a press conference, so I ain't gonna sing the black love song right now. Y'all come out tonight to the conference, to the convention, and I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna sing the Black Love, the Black Power song, okay? And some of these other wonderful people that have been here will be at the press conference be at the convention this evening and tomorrow and throughout the weekend. So we invite the public to come out to Vernon AME Church this evening from 6 to 10. Tomorrow from 6 to 10. Join us out in the streets tomorrow for the march. I'm going to be bringing one of the wonderful organizers of the coalitions coming together to make this march tomorrow. I'm going to begin to ask Brother Bezel to make his way this way to explain to you and whomever that you are doing your reporting for why we're coming, how we're coming, why you shouldn't be scared of us, and why your hometown heroes came to Tulsa. So, I will say if you are unaware of who Elmer Geronimo Pratt is, that's your Google assignment. Otherwise, I am glad to present to you who will be coming in his own way, my brother, and I'm glad to be a part of the organizing of these events alongside with him, Brother Nick Bezel from the Elmer Geronimo Pratt Gun Club. Black Power. Black Power. Oh, Black Power.
Black power. Black power. Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Hey, I want to thank every single one of you all for coming out here today. It's been 3 months that we've been working on this to get this event to take place. The first thing that I want to definitely make sure that I make clear to everyone, and I've been saying it all along, the purpose for us coming here is a sign of strength, solidarity, and unity.
Yes.
I never want anyone to think that we're coming here to commit any type of acts of violence.
Right.
And I've said it before, if you go back to last year all the way until now, no matter where you look at in the country, when you saw black armed demonstrations throughout the country, they never ended in violence.
That's right.
They never ended in someone committing some type of random act that caused anyone intentionally to be hurt.
Right.
So I say that because anybody who has any doubts, I want you to understand that Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood specifically, is sacred land of black people.
Yes.
We would not come here and disrespect our ancestors on this historic centennial. We will not come here and disrespect our ancestors during this historic moment. So anyone who has any doubts about what our intentions here, we made a pilgrimage
Yes.
to come to Tulsa, to the Greenwood District, to pay homage and respect to those ancestors, to those 3 known survivors, and the descendants from that horrible atrocity that happened to our people 100 years ago. What you're gonna see tomorrow is a sign of strength and solidarity amongst black gun owners from all across this nation. We're gonna get together and we're gonna march and show our respects and to tell people this is what we stand for. We stand for our people. We will not be disrespected anymore, and you will no longer abuse or treat us any kind of way. You are going to see a unified front that you haven't seen ever before. These are leaders and they're people coming from all over the country that's showing you a unified front. There won't be any type of distractions. There won't be any type of disagreements, or there won't be any type of arguments amongst our people this weekend. I invite everyone to come back here to the Hyatt tomorrow at 9 a.m. We're having a convention where we're talking about black empowerment. Black power?
Black power. Yes, baby.
Black power means black empowerment.
Yes.
We have to empower our people. We've been beaten down for so long, we don't know what empowerment looks like. But we're going to start here in Tulsa. We're going to start here in Greenwood. And we're going to start here with the people who descended from that massacre. And we're here to empower those people. Greenwood needs to be taken back.
Right.
When we talk about reparations, since we're talking about reparations and restitution, let's restore what was historically a thriving black community. Let's push for them to have their restitution. Let's have Black Wall Street, Negro Wall Street, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine return to who it belonged to, which were black Tulsans.
Retribution.
You might have seen last week that the last 3 known survivors went to D.C. to testify. A lot of us didn't even know about Greenwood until the last 12 to 15 years. But now that the story is out, what are we going to do as people? That land was taken from them. It was bombed. First they burned it to the ground, and then they redlined those people out with modern practices that are discriminatory toward our people.
Come on.
We have to fight for our people. When you ask why all these people coming in from out of town, we're here to fight for our people. Not necessarily physically, but we're here to fight for our people.
Black power. Black power. Black power.
I encourage you all to come back with us tomorrow at 9 a.m. I encourage the media to not spin the stories and print it just as I'm saying it.
So you're right.
And a lot of times people say, well, where's the unity with other ethnic groups? Here's what I have to say to other ethnic groups. If you consider yourself an ally, the first thing you need to do is listen. That's the first thing you can do. Don't try to lead our movement. Listen to what we need. The second thing you can do is say, how can we help you? Don't tell us what you're going to do. How can we help you? The third thing, when we tell you how you can help us, you get behind it 100% and you push it as hard as you can. You go back to your communities and you say, this is how we can help the black people that's been discriminated against for over 400 years in this land.
Yes, sir.
So tomorrow at 9 a.m. here at the Hyatt, we will have a conference. After that, we will have our armed march through historic Black Wall Street, Negro Wall Street, the Greenwood District. After that, we will be going back to the Vernon AME Church to discuss reparations, police accountability, and police brutality. And on Sunday, we will be meeting at Standpipe Hill. Standpipe Hill on Sunday. And I encourage everyone to come out and support this historic event. All Tulsans, everyone who's coming from around the nation, the media, if you want to cover it, you can come too, because our stories need to continue to get out. Reparations is to repair the damage. And we can look at these pictures and see how damaged these people are here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We can go to many communities around the country and see the damage that was done to our people.
Yep.
It's still happening today. Every time I look at the news, an unarmed black person is getting shot. Why? Why is that happening? So when we talk about reparations, I heard that brother say it earlier, it's more than just cash payments. It's a black agenda, which includes our people to no longer get shot down in the street like some wild animals.
Yes, sir.
If we make 15% of the population, we should be getting 15% of the small business loans.
Yes, sir.
If we make 15% of the population, we should be getting 15% of the government contracts.
At least.
But people don't see it that way. And they want us to forget. But yet when we talk about 9/11, they say never forget. Greenwood was our 9/11. Rosewood was our 9/11. Chicago was our 9/11. The transatlantic slave trade was our 9/11.
Wilmington.
Wilmington was our 9/11.
Emily.
How about mass incarceration is our 9/11?
Yes, sir.
How about police brutality is our 9/11?
Yes, sir. Every day.
So don't tell us to forget anything when it's still happening to us today. So I say to you, for all the black people that's coming to Tulsa this weekend, I thank you and I love you. For all the black Tulsans, we love you, and we're going to show you how much we love you. And to everyone who considers themselves an ally, listen, listen, listen. That's the best thing that you can do. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. here at the Hyatt, then the march, then back to the Vernon AME Church, and on Sunday, Standpipe Hill. Black power.
Black power.
Black love.
Black love.
Black love. Black power. Black dollars. Black unity. Huh. Black defense. Self-defense and self-determination. Huh, self-offense. I like that, Queen. Right. So, when we come here about reparations, yes, there's a movement for Greenwood to receive reparations, but there are people who were ran out of Tulsa that never came back. There are businesses that never got their due, their just right due from the insurance company that they paid into. I'm going to call Madam C.J. Walker's name because many people know that she had places in other places but don't know she had something here in Black Wall Street. That is an indicator of the strength of the black economic power that was here, that was burnt up, ran away. So when we say reparations, you have to realize that this was Black Wall Street. Just like Wall Street in New York, there's a whole bunch of businesses around the world that go through that venue. This was that for us. How many different black business districts were torn up within the 4 years from Tulsa? Anybody know? How many other black business districts the same thing happened to in the course of 4 years?
Rosewood. Cleveland Cemetery.
Then that wasn't even necessarily about the money. I'm talking about the ones that were only about the money, not about a white lie. I'm talking about over 20 different cities during the 4-year timeline of what happened here. So we're talking about reparations for Tulsa, but we're talking about reparations for all of the descendants everywhere because some of them never made it back. Some of the survivors never came back because they told them, baby, don't look back. When you leave here, don't look back. Don't come back. Don't talk back. So I'm going to tell you there are some people who are entitled to reparations that don't even know it, and it's still owed to them. And as you heard from our elder, if mama say go do something, if mama say knock you out, I pity the fool. And if mama said go get our money, expect us.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Black power. Black power. Because reparations is more than money. Reparations is mental health. Reparations is institutions. Reparations is making sure that anybody that had Holocaust reparations, that we get that exponentially. When the Asian community received reparations for what happened in the 1900s, they didn't go through no 400 years.
Exactly.
How many years was it?
Teach, almost 5 now.
Less than that. And my people have been tortured, tormented, and we're still, and I know, you know what, I hear, because I did radio, I hear people in the outside saying, well, what does this have to do with police brutality? Because the police deputized white men to do Tulsa. That's why. And they're still deputizing people, let's go Kenosha, deputizing even children to come kill us. And that's why reparations is more than money. Reparations is our own land. It's more than that 400. Now you owe us interest and offensive penalty. Black power.
Black power.
I know our time is limited, and I really cannot thank you enough for coming. I have, I saw that our national spokesman has come, our spokesperson for the New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Are you prepared to greet the people? He will come to us, and then we will close out with some announcements before we depart. Black power.
Black power.
Black power. Black power.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful benefactor, the most merciful redeemer. All praise is due to Allah, the guardian, the evolver, the cherisher, and the sustainer of all of the worlds. I bear witness that none deserves the rights of worship. There's none deserving the right to be conformed to except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High. And I bear witness to all of those who have been raised from Akhenaten until Adam, and from Adam until Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all of our ancestors, including Shaka Zulu, Idi Amin, Kwame Nkrumah, Prince Lumumba, and all of those great ones from Haile Selassie to Nat Turner. And if I be the ripe old age of Methuselah, I can never thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High God, for a bold, bald-headed black man the most honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum and black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! And he instructed us to bring a strong black military to black the call for black power and to black the call for reparations. We have been blessed by the Most High God, and you can say Yahweh Elohim, you can say Jah Rastafari, you can say Jehovah God, you can say Jesus the Messiah, and Moses and those that came in the Hebrews, and you can say David and Solomon, and you would not be wronged. Because all of them were forth from a divine source. If you say Malcolm and Martin, from a divine source. If you say Harriet Tubman, black power! Black power! Black power! If you say Harriet Tubman and Fannie Lou Hamer, if you come in the name of Barbara Jordan and the Honorable Shirley Chisholm, is that right, Queen Mother? The Lord, give her a round. Please stand. Give Queen Mother a round of applause. The Queen and the Mayor of Harlem and has been with us many years and never missed one, not one single event for black power, for black reparations, whether it was in Harlem or Los Angeles, whether it was in Chicago or Miami. Don't care if it was in Boston or Washington, D.C., from Atlanta on into Houston. She was right there with us. And give her a round of applause, because Queen Mother, who comes in the name of the Queen Mother Moore, who gave us all of the instructions, all of the energy, all of the assertiveness, and all of the mother wit, is that right? The mother wit necessary to claim reparations. We know a great injustice has been done, and we also know Brother Nick Bezel of the Geronimo Pratt and Brother Baba Omawali of the Huey P. Newton and those networks of militias that back all of the calls for reparations. We know only a handful, is that right? People will even fit on a slave ship now. And we know that Honorable Dr. Ivan Van Sertima said how they came before Columbus. And we have graveyards that date back 1,000 years or more before Columbus. Black power? Black power! Anybody black attend the conference today? Black power! Black power! Do you really mean black power? But our beloved brother, our honorable attorney, and our Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz have worked for reparations year after year. I watched them from the college days and before, and all the way to this hour. He's on a plane coming this way for more talk on reparations, but more work on reparations. We have to make demands in the spirit of the ancestor and present, is that right, Nick Bezel? And present the ultimatums. The honorable, what is it, my beloved brother that came straight out of Harlem, and he was our beloved brother that did so much work, and that is Adam Clayton Powell Jr., is that right? Adam, black power! Black power! He held a conference on the white man and said that we want black, or we want back what you have stolen from us. And he said, when we get it, didn't say if we get it, when we get it, oh my. He said we will have our self-respect, we will have our dignity, but the first time he said we will have our integrity back. And that's what it is. The white man is going down the street with your integrity and the deed to our private. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street. Well, God damn it. Whose land? Our land. Whose land? Our land. Whose land? Our land. And he has the deeds to our property. My direct chain of ancestors has the deed to our property in his back pocket. And we come to take the reparation, make the demand, and hold the goddamn line, as Dr. Khalid. Black power! Black power! Anybody black power! Black power! Black power! And hold that line. Hold the line. When you make your demand, then you shut up and hold the line. He don't make it, we're going to black it with a military today. We're not coming lightweight. We came heavily equipped. But the Subhanahu wa Ta'ala that we serve says go forward, whether you are equipped lightly or whether you are equipped heavily. You must go forward when the command to fight for your reparations. You have to take your land back. Take our political prisoners back from a no-good low down, dirty, filthy white man and his woman, the she-devil. Black power! Black power! All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. And we come in the name of our brother who has fallen but not forgotten. Oh, our beloved brother, the Honorable Hashim Ekanaten Nzinga. And he fought for the reparation, representing home and abroad. Black power! Black power! So you be there tonight for all the gatherings between here and Mr. Turner's church, and we're going to light it up in the streets tomorrow. We're going to light it up tonight. We're going to light it up Saturday. We're going to light it up Sunday, and we're going to continue to light it up because the Black Panther education is brighter than the light of a physical sun. The physical sun only lights there about what? Half of the planet at a time. But the Black Panther education all over the planet, northern hemisphere, eastern hemisphere, western hemisphere, it lights the earth. When the light of the physical sun is out, the Panther light of education is still shining Geronimo Pratt, still shining Huey P. Newton, still shining Fred Hampton. Bobby Seale is a living witness and shining that Black Panther education. Is that right? Khalid Muhammad, Brother D.K. Brown, our brother Aaron Michaels and David Foreman, all those great ones. All of us believe in reparations to repair the damage. So we must take our reparations, take our political prisoners, and we will be dignified, and the first time we will have our integrity. I thank you so much for your time and greet you in the greeting words of peace. It is written in the Quran in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum and Black power, Black power, Black power, Black power, and a strong Black military to back the call for reparations and the call for Black power, Black power, Black power. We present the lady, this is lady, Queen Lady of Freedom from Selma, Alabama, from New York City, from Ghana, West Africa, from from Tallahassee to Miami. She is the one. Black power, Queen Lady Freedom, Black power, Black power,
Black power, Black power, she said. Yes, and I do bring you greetings from the village and the cities of Ethiopia as well, Black power. For a few announcements, we do have, as a representative of the New Black Panther Party, I find it important that we do call the name of one of our ancestors, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. We do have the book of Khalid available, and it is available in the back there. We will have books available, but we want to actually give this book to our Queen Mother. Thank you so much for coming with us today. Thank you so much for all that you have done for us. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your motivation that you have given us. And someone didn't have the charge like I got from people like Mama and Jerry. And you have been the Mama and Jerry for someone today to tell them we got to go get our money. Black power. So we want to. She has her own book, but we want her to have this one.
Black power, black power, black love, black love.
Oh my goodness. Love you, brother.
Black love.
This was my son.
Yes.
He will never be forgotten.
Long live Khalid.
Long live. Long live. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
He was a warrior
He was a warrior.
and a brilliant soul
Yes.
for righteous and justice. What a blessing to have his work. Thank you, family. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a few announcements. You've already heard about the upcoming events that we have. Also, in the vein of reparations, do want you to know about the reparations conference that will be coming up with Cobra. Would you please share the information on that, Brother Jamoke, while we're doing the announcements before we prepare to depart?
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Yes, yes. You know, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I have the pleasure of having a great elder to mentor me, which is Baba Mukasa.
Oh, yes.
Baba Mukasa is one who is credited for giving us black power!
Black power!
And so, and he still, even as an elder, has that same fire that he had when he was a teenager.
He does.
And he calls me from time to time and checks on me, and I love the fact that I mentor by that great elder.
Yes.
But just wanted to say something that's very, very important, and I want you to really, really consider this and think upon this, that we come together once a year in Cobra to strategize on how we're moving reparations forward, to talk about what we have done and what we intend to do. And now that, what's happening, with COVID and everything, our convention is virtual. And so we invite you to join with Cobra's convention. It's June 25th through the 27th. And just come on board. You can participate and see what our strategy is, what we're doing, and what we have done, and what we'll continue to do. We invite you to be a part of that. And you can go to Eventbrite in Cobra Convention, and you can find out all the information there. And again, I'll have some flyers throughout this weekend. We got some coming soon. Yes. So, and we'll be talking about this more at other venues as well. But we definitely want to invite you to come out and to participate in our virtual convention in June. Thank you very much for your time.
Black power.
Black power! Black power! Black power!
Black power.
Now, we've been talking about reparations for considering the slave trade, but let us just throw this soundbite out here for my people that are still recording. The U.S. government owes the Panther Party and all of its descendants reparations. And how are you going to pay for it? You're going to undo COINTELPRO. I'm tired of them messing up our phones while we're trying to talk to each other this week. I'm sick and tired of it. And I want them to know. You keep saying, we don't know where we're going to get the money for reparations. Undo COINTELPRO, defund COINTELPRO, and pay our reparations. We'll talk about defund police too, yeah, but doggone start with COINTELPRO. The government is on record for having a plan on how to mess with us, and they're still doing it. So, America, not only do you owe us for what you did to my great-grandmama them, my grandma them, mama them, brother them, still terrorizing the children when they had to turn on the TV and see how they doing us, but you owe specifically the Black Panther Party and any black liberation organization that was targeted by COINTELPRO, they owe us reparations for that separately.
Teach.
I said it, I meant it. And I got Africa to back me up.
Black power. Black power. Black power.
Black power.
Black power.
Check my passport, it ain't no lie. And we mean it. So put that with your sound bites, please, and thank you. We will see you this evening at Vernon AME Church. I do advise anyone that is traveling that we have had some racist haters agitating, and we are prepared to do what we must do if the police fail to protect us once again. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. And I'm going to fix the energy before we depart with some tunes of love. I want to lift my people up, they're not heavy. I want to lift my people up, they're not heavy. I want to lift my people up, they're not heavy. Because what happens, mother? What happens? If I don't lift them up, come on. If I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, I will fall down. I want to lift my brothers up, I want to lift my brother up. He's not heavy. That's why we came here, to lift our people up. I want to lift my brother up, he's not heavy. I want to lift my brother, I want to lift my brother up, he's not heavy. Because if I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, if I don't lift him up, I will fall down. I want to lift my sisters up. I want to lift my sisters up. They're not heavy. I want to lift my sister up. I want to lift my sisters up. She's not heavy. I wanna lift my sisters up. They're not heavy. Because if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, I will fall down. Come on for the children. Don't quit on the children. I want to lift the children up. They're not heavy. I want to lift the children up. I want to lift the children up. You sound good, people. Heavy. I want to lift the children up. I want to lift the children up. They're not heavy. Because if I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, I will fall down. One more time for Tulsa. I want to lift Tulsa up. It's not heavy. I want to lift Tulsa. I want to lift Tulsa up. It's not heavy. We gonna lift a Tulsa. I wanna lift Tulsa. It's not heavy. Because if we don't lift it up, if we don't lift it up, if I don't lift it up, I will fall down. One more time for reparations, right now. I want to lift reparations up. It's not heavy. Y'all sound good. Come on, say it like you mean it. Hey, I want to lift reparations up. It's not heavy. I want to lift reparations up. It's not heavy. Because if we don't lift it up, if I don't lift it up, if I don't lift it up, I will fall down. Thank you, Mother. Queen Mother, 80 years old, singing them tunes. Shout out to the 21st Century Youth Leadership Movement. That is their song. Children from the Songs of Selma for the tracking movement, when students were put immediately into low-level classes, even though their test scores said that they deserved to be in advanced. And in the 90s, the students of Selma said, we're going to do a sit-in and tell them, you can't just put us in remedial because we black and say I can't have college prep courses because I'm black. Even though my score said I'm way up here, you're going to put us all down here. It's called racial tracking. Yes, in the 90s. And they came together and said, we're going to lift each other up since they want to put us down. And in a city like Selma, they ran Dr. Rousseau out of town for saying it was wrong to racially track students. We will have one of the leaders of the racial tracking movement here this evening. Attorney Fire Rose Touré will be a part of our speakers. Attorney Hank Sanders. And those are lawyers that worked on the Black Farmers lawsuit. And I worked along with Chestnut Sanders and Petaway to make sure that Pick for One and Pick for Two, that the Black farmers got paid. So we ain't just talking about y'all gonna give us reparations and we making a dream. No, honey, we cash checks and y'all gonna have to run us our money. Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Now you can either give it to us or the ancestors will take it. I suggest a check. Black power. Black power. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending on today. And thank you again to the press. Thank you again to the press for coming. Thank you to the people who are the power. And we will see you in Greenwood. Black power. Black power. Yes, Black Panther papers will be available this evening. Black Panther papers will be available on this evening. If you want to get a copy of the Book of Khalid before we get over there, I do recommend, and Attorney Shabazz, Chairman Emeritus, will sign your copy there whenever, sometime this weekend. Okay. Any other questions? Or, pardon me, forgive me. Did you all have any questions while we have completed our presentations? Taking questions at this time. If no questions, thank you for your time. Everyone be safe. If you have any issues, you can find me on Facebook, Lady Freedom. You can send me a message. If you see something funny, send me a picture. If you see somebody acting out of the way, send me a picture. Black power.
Black love. Black love.